for all your Hermes cosplay needs. All of them. We're in the Greeks and Italy area now, so you know it's gonna be good. Let's look at some Apulian vases. Guess that god. Guess that god.
Dionysus?
Yes. I'm assuming it is. Yeah, that's Dionysus. Alright. That's not a god. That doesn't count. Okay, alright, this is an easy one. Guess that goddess.
The goddess?
Yeah.
Aphrodite.
Yes. Okay, that was easy. Okay, ancient Greek temple, Amazonomachia, so it's a battle between the Amazons and some like non-Amazon people. So you got some dudes and some gals and they fight each other. Obviously the gals are the Amazons. Temple. I guess we'll walk around. This is from Turkey. Was I right? Was it really an Amazonomachia? 8. Oh, it just says infantry. Okay, doesn't tell. It doesn't say. I'm just going to assume that I was right. Oh, is there nothing around the back? Wow, this is super exciting. This is my favorite part of the exhibit. I love this. I love it. It's great. These are the Nereids, which are the ones that would be on that temple. The reason why the hands and heads are often missing is because they weren't made out of marble. Oftentimes they were made out of a different material, such as wood or a softer material. The reason why the arms are often made out of wood, not for these statues, but for statues in general, is because people would put offerings on the arms. So you'd like leave a garland of whatever on the arm, and eventually you'd have to take the arm off because it had too much shit on. You put a new arm on. The heads, you didn't leave offerings on the heads, but often having the heads separate was so you could make the bodies all the same and then like differentiate which goddess it was from the head itself. You know, fun facts. Alright, now this is an Amazonomachy, and this is from the Temple of Bassae, which is a temple to Apollo. So this is the Amazons fighting the Greeks. And then this is the Centauromachy, which is the centaurs fighting the Lapis. Oh, how cool. This guy was born ready. He's like, fight me. He's like, I'm ready, let's do this. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make this happen. It is meant to go on a horse. It says horse now missing, but I like to think that it's sort of like you could put him on that cow. You could put him on the cow. It's perfect. Put him on the cow. This is the last labor of Hercules, where he has to go get the boar. And well, this is one of the versions of the last labor of Hercules, where he goes to get the boar, and the guy who makes Hercules do all this labors like hides in a pot. Hercules is tormenting him with the boar. Bloody love this scene. It's such a good representation. I mean, you can tell we're moving backwards in time because the form is becoming a lot more black figure. Like, look, here's Athena. Athena and Hermes. Am I just making this up? No, I don't think I'm making this up. Athena and Hermes. He's got his little cap, his little boots. I don't know who the other guy is, but he's just chilling. He's chilling. He's having a good time. Oh, here's Achilles and Penthesilea. Did you know the stories of Achilles and Penthesilea is only recorded in the 4th century AD text, the Post America? And if you were to write a paper on the Amazons at Troy and you didn't include the Post America, you would be a shit.
We aren't talking about me here.
No, we're not talking about Elena. It's fine. Look, I just love Greek pods, guys. It's so much fun. Don't you just love them? They're just great. So this guy right here, Mr. I'm chillin' with my little hat. This is meant to be the Greeks in the East. So this guy comes from Troy. He was there when the Trojan War happened. All right. This guy comes from Troy. This is almost the exact pose of the most famous Etruscan sarcophagus. ever. Okay, in the Villa Giulia, it's the one where it's the guy and the wife and they're like talking and shit. It's the right hand movement, it's the right, you know, hair, just no cap, he's got a different beard. And this just shows the, you know, the perfect like melding of cultures between the Etruscans and the Near East way before the Romans were even a concept. You know, like this is it. This is the good shit right here. It's like the Etruscans are so important, and they had so much communication with like outside of Italy, and something like this just shows that so well. Did you guys know the Vikings were invented in the 9th century? There were no Vikings prior to the 9th century. They didn't exist. Did they? They didn't exist. No Vikings. Vikings are a social construct. Look at this gold thing. I'm gonna turn the camera around. This is really difficult. Shit, I'm so... My guest star for this blog, Elena, is that was really zoomed in on your face, is currently body shaming the ancient Greeks because one of the statues had an uneven butt. We're doing well. We're gonna go look at the Parthenon Marbles. You know, this is the stuff that everyone wants to see. So let's go have a look. Right, real quick. Parthenon, big ass temple on the Acropolis in Athens. Really contentious. Greece wants the marbles back. British Museum's like no, because we still think we're imperial. You know, the normal kind of stuff. So the sculptures are all here. To be fair, when they were discovered, like they really couldn't look after them. They can now. They built the new museum, so we'll see what happens with that in the future. Really nice art history from an art history standpoint, not too interesting from an archaeology standpoint. So we're just going to look at the pretty Greek stuff. But just that was a quick rundown of the Parthenon. Oh, it got blown up during the modern period by someone, I don't remember. So there's a number of different friezes on the Parthenon. There's one of the gods sitting down and watching this parade. So here are some of the gods. You're just chilling. They're chilling with their friends. You know, they're just hanging out. So you got Zeus, who's just sitting. And he's like, yeah, whatever, man. And then I'm assuming it's like Athena and Hera next to him. Because that'd be weird. Otherwise, if it wasn't, you got Ares. Ares is like, yeah, okay. Then you got Demeter. Demeter's got her little grain staff. That's how you can tell. And then you got Hermes, who's just being annoying, apparently. Oh no, it's Dionysus who's being annoying and leading on Hermes, who is like, please don't speak to me, we're not friends. Because he'd be holding his pinecone staff, but his hand's gone. What the gods are actually watching in this frieze is they're watching a procession for the Pan-Athenaic Festival, which is a big festival that happened in Athens, hence Pan-Athenaic. And basically, this peplos would be made, like this really big garment with the gigantomachia, like loom spun onto it. And it was given to the statue of Athena Parthenos every year. So in this image, you've got the people carrying the peplos, folding the peplos, and they're doing the bringing the peplos. And then in the rest of the image, you've got like the procession going on, and the gods are watching all of this. So basically, because this temple was in Athens, and they showed the Pan-Athenaic Festival, and then they showed the gods watching the Pan-Athenaic Festival, this is basically a frieze of Athens being like, look how great we are, we're the best. And again, you've got the traces of pigment, so we know this would have been completely painted. So, you know, imagine the most garish colors you want, like that's your prerogative, but it's pretty great. So this is from the West Pediment, which is the, oh my god, focus, which is the story of Athena and Poseidon fighting about who gets to be the patron god of Athens. Obviously Athena wins. So that's this scene. And then you've got the metopes around the side, which are the centauromachi, so the centaurs fighting the lapiths. For those of you who haven't been to the Parthenon, it's huge, it's absolutely massive, and this would have been so decorative, like, because they would have had the statues on top. You've got 3 different mythological scenes already. You've got this like semi-historical like scene represented on the inside. And I think there's an Amazonomachy for it too, and it's so over the top. It's ridiculous. It's massive. And then you go in, and you've got the glory to Athens and the 50-foot, you know, Athena Parthenos wearing this weird cloak that they've gotten a bunch of virgin girls to loom for the entire year. give it. I mean, like, you know, I love Greek religion. It's so weird, but the scale is just off the charts. I mean, like, Athens had a lot of money when they did this because they were, you know, très important or whatever. But it's just ridiculous. So this is the third mythological scene, and this is, I think, it's meant to be the birth of Athena. So you've got three goddesses here, which I'm pretty sure is meant to be Hera, Demeter, and Aphrodite. Aphrodite is the one laying down. She's just chilling. We can check this to make sure I'm not making this up. And then, yeah, you've got Helios and Selene, the sun and the moon, coming up on either side. So over there and then over there. It looks a bit weird, like having the horses coming out of the floor, going like, "Arr!" But like, you know, Greeks, you do you. And then you've got Athena. And then, where are the other people on this? That's the real question. Zeus is missing, I'm pretty sure. I think that's the idea. And then I think Hephaestus is missing too. And that's Athena, and that's the other gods being like, what the shit just happened? She just burst out of Zeus's head. Oh, for the record, the myth is that Zeus was told that his next offspring would overthrow him. So he ate the mother of his next offspring, who's Dione, who is like kind of just like a female version of Zeus. It's weird anyway. So he gets this really big headache, and Hephaestus decides to fix it by splitting his skull open. And out pops Athena, fully grown, clad in armor. And of course, Athena doesn't pose a threat to overthrowing Zeus because she's a woman. Because that's how that works in Greek mythology. Yeah, she totally should have done it. Can you imagine if Athena was the main goddess of the pantheon? Like, I'd be down. But the reason why these figures are in such high relief, as well as the things you see around the outside, the metapiece, is because these would have been extremely high up. You would not be seeing them from this angle. You would be seeing them from very low down as you're coming into the temple. So you sort of need them to be extremely detailed and extremely larger than life, or you wouldn't have been able to see the detail at all. I still love these falls. Help us, we're stuck in the ground. Yeah, so centaurs are like the half men, half horse dudes, and they're always fighting the Lapiths. But if you look at centaurs' faces, they're always like, oh, that was weird. They're always done differently from humans' faces. Like they've almost got like theatre masks on. It's really weird. Oh, actually, okay, fun facts about the Parthenon is that it's so tall that the pillars are actually made deliberately wider at the top so that from the ground they look the same size, because the higher up you go, the more something looks thinner. So they made them thicker at the top so that when you look at them from the ground, they appear to be exactly the same. When you look at from the side as well, they've also angled them out slightly, so when you look at them from the side, you don't get the bend in. So if you actually took one of the pillars down, it would look really weird, because it wouldn't be like what you'd imagine to see a pillar like this. It would be like a weird, almost like shape that extends and has a weird curve to it. So. Alright, so funerary inscriptions in ancient Rome normally begin with the letters DM, or the phrase dis manibus, which literally means into the hands of the underworld spirits. And if that isn't like the best name for like a heavy metal rock band that you've ever heard, then I don't know. Like if I started a heavy metal rock band, it would be called dis manibus. Cause it's just good, you know? Oh look, Greek. Like good on the British Museum doing this LGBTQ path through the museum. Very important, very, very happy with it. I mentioned earlier there was nothing in the Greek galleries. Here we have a funerary relief scene, and it's described as a funerary relief scene with a youth holding a horse. Yes, that's definitely half of the relief. The other half, however, is a symposium scene with two men sitting on a couch looking at each other. One guy's got his hand on the other guy's thigh, and the other guy's got his hand on the other guy's shoulder. And I'm just wondering why this isn't included in the path, considering that like the symposium was like quite important to this kind of idea. I'm just at British Museum. Please explain your choosing. Like I'm really happy the Epic Gilgamesh is included, but also a bit confused as to why not only your sign is completely ignoring half of this stele, but also why it's not in this The trail? I don't even know anymore. I guess they're just friends. Really, really good friends. The Illiberal Shipwreck is something that was found off the coast of Cyprus, and it was a trading vessel that was going from the southwest of Asia to Greece, and basically it sunk and all the stuff was just left there, and they found it, and it had a ton of these ingots in. They're called oxhide ingots because of the shape of them, but that's how they transported copper in the ancient world for it to be refined. Like, how cool is that? I have nothing to add about this. I just want to say it's a nice sword.
It is a nice sword.
It is a nice sword. It's a good sword. So it's like hard for me to know what to talk about for the Etruscans, but here is about the sanctuary of Diana at Nemi, which is awesome. This is the sanctuary that has the Rex Sacrorum, the runaway slave who has to then like kill the person who is the Rex Sacrorum to become the Rex Sacrorum. But it's hard for me to know what to talk about just because everything is so cool. Palestrina is another really amazing site. These circular objects are kind of like toiletry things, so you put your toiletries in them. But there's just so much. The Etruscan culture is so fascinating and so interesting. So bulla are some of my favorite things. These are apotropaic objects that you'd wear around your neck or around your belt. These ones obviously around the neck because they're fancy, and you'd put an object in it, and the idea was that because the object was secret, it was hidden, it was always closed, the object was apotropaic and would ward off evil. That's what apotropaic means. These are some very fancy gold bulla. I got the chance to research a bronze bulla when I was in Rome, and a lot of my comprehender was this kind of stuff, so it's very difficult to do. These are quite plain shapes, which are similar to the ones that I worked on, rather than the more elaborate filigree pinecone shaped ones, which look like larger versions of the things on that necklace. But bulla are really, really cool. Okay, so mirrors are super important in the Etruscan world because they were cultic and represented kind of female-only cults. There are two main female-only cults, which are to Hercules, weirdly enough, and to Hera, but it's not Hercules and Hera. I don't remember their Etruscan names. It's like Uni, and I don't remember what Hercules is. But so obviously a mirror is a feminine object. It's something that you would find in a female grave and would associate in the ancient world with females, you know, regardless of how you want to take that. But the images were always cultic on them, and so I don't know if I can actually get this, but like here you have Aphrodite and Eros. Let's try and find another one. There aren't many mythological scenes on these ones, unfortunately, but they are definitely cultic. Oh, here's a Minerva and Achilles one. They're just really nice. I love these mirrors. I was talking about earlier with that ancient Greek from Troy image of the person laying down on a flat platform is how it's represented exactly in the Etruscan tradition. I'm not sure which one came first, actually. This is a good representation of how that pose for funerary things come back into play in a different culture. Portland vase, which is basically the reason conservation started as a field. So someone came in and deliberately smashed this vase, right? And at the time, the British Museum had no conservators. So the people in the British Museum were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? So they had a locksmith who was pretty good with his hands. So they were like, hey dude, can you put back together this pot for us? And he was like, yeah, sure. Except they weren't really using a lot of ethics at this point. So he sanded pieces down, he took pieces out, he like filled it in with things that we don't know what he filled it in with, but he restored it exactly, and it's very hard to tell. You can only see it if you like drop up and down and actually look and see the lines where it was broken. But this is one of the first things that was conserved in the British Museum. Probably add that the BM has the Warren Cup on display, and it's a bit hard to not include the LGBT histories for this one, considering this 110%. I can't focus on it. It's 110% the sexy types. And someone coming in and being like, oh, excuse me, so you know, good job, BM. So this stuff is called Samian ware, or you can call it the other name for it, terra sigillata. This stuff is your bog standard sort of like ceramic that you have, but it's quite important on archaeological sites because it's very indicative of like, you can tell where it comes from based on stamps and things. But yes, terra sigillata. Modern period, we value coloured glass as being the best kind of glass, the more expensive kind of glass. In the ancient world, it was actually the opposite. Clear glass was extremely hard to achieve. So if you had clear glass, it meant you had more money. It meant you had a higher skilled person working on your glassware. So you wanted this kind of glass versus these nice, blue ones and the red one. So here's Hadrian's boyfriend Antinous. Thank you, British Museum, for pointing that out for us with this wonderful LGBTQ trail. Yeah. Basically, Antinous died, and then Hadrian got really sad and just commissioned a bunch of naked Zephanites statues of Antinous and put them all over Rome in his villa, and his wife was probably really pissed about it because she hated Antinous. So, fun time. I love Roman religion because it's weird already because the Etruscans made it weird, and then you get to them using the Egyptian mythology in it, and you end up with things like Dionysus with snake legs and Helios Serapis, and then is that anime? No video is complete without me pointing out sickles. Here they are. I don't know about you, but my favorite gods of Olympus is definitely Cerberus. Also, they have a display on Minor and Eastern gods, and frickin' Mithras is not in it, and now I'm just offended. So,